Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and recently I told you guys in one of my top meta videos that I thought Warden was a very broken hero, or at least had the potential to be broke. But I didn't want to get into, at least at the time, why I thought Warden was insane. However, in today's video, we're going to be looking at Tomato, one of North America's best carry players, and how he plays the hero. But before we do that, I want to give you a ridiculous, and I truly mean this is ridiculous. If you don't believe me, give me a minute and I'm going to show you why Warden is insane. Okay, you might be thinking, oh yes, we get it. You can have two heroes and they all do the damage. It's like, no, you don't get it. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about.
All right, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the Game League website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken and really take your game to the next level, I'm going to be able to help you, because sometimes the guides on YouTube, there's either not enough of them, they're not specific, or they're just tier lists, which I know you guys love, but at the end of the day, the Game League website is going to help you get to the next level. So click the link down below and sign up.
This is a pretty reasonable item build for the hero. At least this is the build that people are going. If I set down my illusions and I make a copy, I can make more illusions. It's a pretty good amount of damage, right? This is a 4k HP Storm with 19 armor. It's a pretty good amount of damage, right? It's definitely reasonably impressive. However, this is not taking into account the attack speed bonus that Magnetic Field gives, which is 120. That's like a moon shard, and then the bonus attack damage. This is what most people don't know about. Recently in 7.33, the Tempest version of Warden is different. So if you're playing on Dire, you actually are a different version of Warden, and then if you spawn a Tempest double, you get the normal version. If you're on Radiant, you get the normal version of Warden, and when you spawn a Tempest double, you get the Dire version. It's a little confusing. I'll explain it more later on into the video, but basically you have two different types of magnetic fields. One gives attack speed, and one gives bonus magic damage on hit. The weird thing is it works on Mantas! The bonus damage, it's flat. So if I put everything down on the ground, I click Manta, then I spawn this guy, I click Manta, and then I place both of the bubbles, you will see that Storm Spirit instantly dies. No, I don't have a billion items. No, I'm not maxed out net worth. This inventory is not even expensive. Yes, I'm level 25, so that's the only thing that is off here, but I also want to mention that this is the level 15 talent. At level 20, you have Magnetic Field cooldown, which is incredible, an incredible talent. The duration is 6.5 seconds, it brings it down to an 11-second cooldown. It's up more than 50% of the time. And the last thing I do want to mention as well is your hero has a shard that buffs Magnetic Field. It gives magic resistance on the Magnetic Field, 40%. So if someone's trying to kill you, they can't. And what's really cool is the magic resist stacks drop a Q. You'll notice it does very limited damage, right? I'm going to put them both down quickly just for demonstration purposes. That Q did 0 damage. This hero is pretty crazy. All right, so I do want to primarily focus on the mid game of Warden within this video, but let's quickly look at the laning stage of Tomato. In the laning stage, you want to start with a bunch of stats and a magic stick. Magic stick because your hero has a pretty fragile mana pool and wants to spam its spark wraiths, right? So he has a stick, 3 branches, circlet, and then he's going to be shipping out tangos. In the laning stage, you want to take Spark Wraith at level 1 because it's only 80 mana, and you want to do 2 things with it. Number 1, secure the range creep as we see here, and number 2, which is this Spark Wraith, you actually want to zone out the enemy. You want to help your position 5 trade, and that's really huge, right? Unfortunately, the Spirit Breaker looks like he's going to go down here, but he is going to get a return kill on the Skywrath using the Spark Wraith to finish him off. From there, there's a couple things you want to buy in the laning stage. Number 1 is a lot of regen. Your hero definitely has sustain problems as it has horrible movement speed, horrible armor, and is a ranged hero, so it takes a lot of damage from autos. So in the laning stage, you don't really want to fight people that much. You can chip them down if they don't put pressure because you're a ranged hero with good attack range, but that's about it, right? He can harass the Omni Knight a little bit, but for the most part, Warden is not an incredible laner and should not be seen as such. But you can kind of push in the lane, get the Lotus, get wand charges, spam your nukes, and be annoying. And that's often good enough. On top of that, he's going to ship out raindrops in the south, so clearly he wants to stay in the lane for as long as possible, and the raindrops help with your mana problems. From there, you're gonna rush Hand of Midas, and honestly for pretty obvious reasons. If you're not familiar with the hero, your ultimate Tempest double creates a copy of yourself. Well, it's not exactly a copy anymore, as you get the dire version if you're on Radiant, and vice versa, but it gives you 2 copies of yourself, and that includes items, so it works with Midas. Basically, you get a double Midas, and that's really efficient. The only thing about the laning stage that I do want to mention is at level 6, you become a completely different hero. Warden's level 6 spike is one of the most significant in Dota because it's just a doubling of your current hero. Like, obviously that's gonna be insane. So when you hit level 6, you go from kind of a AFK passive bot, even though I'm saying that, but he's 2-0, which is kind of ironic. Either way, at level 6, you're nuts, right? A little bit of a charge onto the Omni here, double Spark Wraith. You gotta have quite a bit of micro to play this hero. Double Spark Wraith, and they're gonna be able to drop the Omni Knight super, super low. One thing that you do wanna do on Warden is pull a lot. The hero requires lane creeps early on to farm. It cannot jungle. It can, I guess, but it's really, really slow, right? And so for any hero that jungles slow, you need to pull the small camp as much as humanly possible. Because not only are you going to get to farm the small camp, it's going to allow you to farm lane creeps. And that's the key in the early game. Farm lane creeps. The problem with Warden, and the reason why you don't see him in the pro scene, is he doesn't jungle fast, so if he gets ganked too much, loses his tower, and doesn't have lane creeps to farm, he will be a bot. However, in pubs, as long as you get off enough single pulls, you'll get to the point where you jungle like a madman, because eventually you do jungle like a madman. He's eventually going to pop his salve and ships out of clarity, and from there he's going to farm the back camps because he's, well, afraid of being ganked. That's the reality of the hero. After farming out the back camps, he's going to be pretty passive and continue to do so as he goes deeper and deeper into the jungle, eventually shipping out the Javelin, a part of the Maelstrom. And now eventually, once you hit Maelstrom, you're going to look to pick up Boots, and this is when your hero does farm really, really quickly, right? Double Maelstrom is obviously an insane amount of damage, and I do want to say that Tempest Double has a separate cooldown for items, so you kind of have to track when the Midas is up for the Tempest Double. That's the only other small piece of advice I do want to give. We are going to see him TP into an early game fight, and with the Maelstrom you actually do a significant amount of damage. I will admit this rotation is unorthodox because of the fact that typically at this point in the game what you're going to be looking to do is just farm up every single defensive camp on the map. You can rotate to the triangle like this and start farming Ancients, as your hero is very efficient at that, but I'm just surprised to see him fighting at this point. So one of the cool benefits of this hero is his Roshan potential. Something that's cool about the magnetic fields is it also works on your allies, not just your Mantas and your Tempest Double, right, and your hero. It works on everyone. So when he eventually can pop the Tempest Double, he's going to give everyone, because he's level 15 now, and as I talked about, this is the broken talent, right? The 40 magnetic field attack speed and damage. Eventually when the Tempest Double comes up, he's going to give everyone 120 attack speed, and everyone inside of this is hitting for the extra 120 bonus magic damage per hit, which is insane. It is insane. Imagine pairing that with like Focus Fire from Wind Ranger. It's ridiculous. That's probably a pretty legit combo, no joke. Wild. You could also pair it with like a sniper because you're gonna give him a ton of attack speed. Now this fight here is what sold this hero for me. This is insane. So something to keep in mind is that BKB only blocks 50% of magic damage now, right? It is not 100%, and therefore you can still do magic damage to BKB targets. Obviously, it's going to be a reduction of the 120 damage. At least I say that, but honestly in this clip, I don't know if it's a bug, but I'm not going to lie, it didn't look like the BKB blocked anything. You guys could tell me what you think in the comments. I'm not exactly sure, but he messes up his first bubble. Well, okay, I say that, but I think he was actually trying to save the Wyvern from the Wind who was ulting him. Unfortunately, the Wyvern walked forward anyway, whatever. But you can see, he's going to drop the blue bubble, and the blue bubble is the one that gives the attack damage, right? And now look at this Razor's health. He gets stunned, drops all the Mantas, this guy's BKB'd, and he just dies. Like, this is a very tanky Razor, right? Sanjin Yasha, Falcon Blade, it's just a ton of stats and a Pupil's Gift. And yet he looks like he's not tanky at all, right? Obviously he gets hit by charge, but what the? He's just dead. Like, you don't expect to run in and just die. Like, there's nothing else for me to say. You just don't expect that. And this Omni Knight makes the grave mistake of forgetting that, Warden doesn't have to stick around to deal damage because of the fact that the Tempest and all the Mantas will continue to deal damage even when he runs away, so he drops the double bubble. And as he disengages, all of these things are hitting for that bonus 120 damage. And you can see this Omni Knight, who's pretty tanky, is just, once again, dying. And these guys don't even seem to expect the damage. I'm not surprised, because people don't understand Arc Warden. And at this point, his presence is pretty overwhelming. He's got the Aegis from the Roshan we saw earlier, and now he can kind of just take anyone who overextends even slightly. He's gonna first drop the attack speed bubble to actually take out the Omni. I like that he saved his Tempest double there, knowing that the guy was already dead. From there, he knows he can't really kill the Wind, so he switches targets onto the Skywrath, and poor Skywrath. I mean, come on. He's actually dead. The Quap finished him off, but still, as a charge comes through, he finishes off the Pugna. Going to be able to chase on Spark Wraiths, great for chasing down kills as they find him as well, and the fight is over. Alright, I have to show you guys this Roshan clip. At this point, he went for a Scotty. I think he was considering buying Nullifier, which is why he has Helm of the Iron Will. This is such a great Nullifier game against Omni, Pugna, and Windranger, purging, Windrun, Decrep, Heavenly Grace, and Guardian Angel. Yeah, that spell. But look at this Roshan. This was just comical to me. What in the world? What is this? I mean, it's one hero, and now he's level 20, so the bubbles are on an 11-second cooldown, and yep, there it goes. And Roshan... And finally, for the last clip of the video, I just think that this clip is kind of funny because Razor is known for his ability to man up against right-click carries. Unfortunately, Razor is also known for not manning up too well against illusions, but yeah, he gets cancelled here, and this fight looks like it could be good, right? They're getting a max train onto the Arc Warden. Too bad all of his damage is added bonus damage, which you can't drain away. And so the Razor, even after sucking 100% of his damage, just about, okay, slightly under 100%, is still going to die instantly. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, look at the Omni Knight. I don't even, this looks like a joke. It literally looks like he's having the best game of all time, but the reality is he's 8-3, right? I mean, this is not like some giga stomp. The game was even until like 8 minutes ago. You know what I mean? And so that's why I see why this hero is a high win rate. If you know what to do, if you have good enough micro, because you have to be able to click Manta, Bubble, Ulti, Manta, Bubble. It's 4 clicks in and of itself. Right, and then you have to click the right person, and you have to do it when the enemy overextends, because yeah, the bubbles are somewhat kiteable. So it's not an easy hero. This video is not suggesting picking Arc Warden in ranked instantly for free MMR. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can consider trying it in overthrow and unranked, whatever it is, get some reps in, and if you figure it out, you can see why the Mantas on this hero is absolutely broken. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.